Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Happy to have everybody tuning in on today. You know what it is. Here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, we talk about all things financial literacy. We have great conversations, a great community that you can be a part of as we talk about financial literacy and dive into different subjects. And as I deal with different clients around the country, one of the things that I notice is a subject I want to talk about today, which is overcoming financial fears. There are so many people around the country and around the world. People are afraid to take the next financial step to help them have success because they have certain financial fears. And I want to tackle that on today. So there's a few things I want to deal with, ladies and gentlemen, as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. I am live on YouTube, I am live on Facebook, and I'm live on TikTok. The YouTube channel is Coach Steele's Finance Training. And one thing I found while dealing with different clients and helping people around the country is financial fear is real. So it's not something made up. It's not something that doesn't exist. People really deal with financial fear. And what I find is it hinders people from having success. And in 2026, I want to see everyone that's a part of Coach Steele's Finance Training reach their goals, reach your targets, be able to climb that mountain, all of these different obstacles and fears that you face. I want to show you today, one, why it's happening, and two, how to overcome them. And so if you are here today and ready for this journey to overcome your financial fears, I want you to put in that chat, overcome fears, overcome. So financial fear is real, and it usually doesn't, it's usually not about money alone. That's the thing. It's not so much about the money. It's usually uncertainty, control, and your past experiences. People have past trauma that hold them back. And I really want to deal with that today because some of the past negative experiences aren't so much the other entity that caused it. It was the route that you took that could have hindered you from having those past experiences and trauma. And so it's going to help you look at fear of what you're afraid of financially to do, step out on businesses to start, investments to make, dive into real estate. It's going to make you re-examine what that fear was initially. And so I'm going to give you some clear, teachable breakdowns on today that you can use to help you push and move forward instead of staying complacent and stagnant in 2026. And so we have a lot to accomplish on today. As you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you greet me, say good morning, comment in the chat section. I look forward to seeing those comments. Good morning to you, Yvette Steele. Happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Let's tackle some of these obstacles that we deal with. And so we understand that the fear is real, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of people that face financial fear. And as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you share the live so that other people can tune in. And I'm going to shout you out as you comment. Good morning, Tony Sherman. I see your comment in the chat section. Happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. One of the most common reasons why people have financial fear that I see with working with clients literally 24/7 every day of the week is lack of financial knowledge. So in that comment section, you can write the word knowledge as you're taking notes on how to improve and deal with those financial fears. Usually it's lack of financial knowledge. Most people believe they know so much about different subjects, different asset classes, investment. They're so brainwashed of the traditional way of doing things that America has taught you to do it, that they believe that is the only way. And so things are constantly changing in the financial space. Things are constantly changing, avenues, approaches, way to prepare for retirement, ways to build up generational wealth, ways to create passive income. It's forever changing. There's so many different options and people have no idea about them at all. And so they're stuck with what they know. And because they have a lack of knowledge of the new, because they have a lack of knowledge of other avenues of approach, they limit themselves. And one thing, not only do people deal with a lack of knowledge, and I'm dealing with the problems on why people struggle. and have so many financial fears, why people handcuff themselves financially. We're going to deal with that, and then I'm going to show you how to overcome. And so, as I'm talking about this, make sure you share the live with other people and invite more friends into the comment section. I want to see people have financial success in 2026. And here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, that's what we're here about, to talk about steps and how to make processes and strategies to reach your financial goals in 2026. So there are so many people, check this out, that they're so afraid to lose by taking a chance financially that they would rather hold pat and stay still, because they believe that if I take a step, they're more afraid of losing than they are having the opportunity to win. They would cancel out the opportunity to win and have success because fear makes them think about the loss. Fear makes them think about being pessimistic and not optimistic. And so that's something that you have to examine on yourself. Am I so afraid of losing that I won't give myself a chance to win financially? This is real talk on today. You need to examine yourself. One thing that I love, a quote that I love from Nelson Mandela is, he says, I never lose. I never lose. I either win or I learn. So many people, they take the loss and they walk away. They take the loss and they tuck their tail. They take the loss and they go take their ball and they go home, and they never come outside again. They never take another shot. They never try again in life, because the loss was so mentally detrimental to them that they have handcuffed themselves and froze themselves from moving forward in life. I want to talk to you all today about moving forward and taking a chance on yourself. And one of the best ways you can do that is stop having a lack of knowledge. Good morning to you, Mickey David. I see your comment in the comment section. And so when we have a lack of financial knowledge, it's going to hold us back. Some people don't know how to budget. You don't understand credit. You don't know how to deal with credit. And so you have to deal with those things. You have to deal with those things that are going to hold you back. If you don't understand credit, if you don't understand how to improve your credit score, if you don't understand investing, if all you know is invest in the stock market, then you don't have a good understanding of investing in other asset classes and businesses and startup businesses and real estate. Some people say, how can I invest in real estate right now when the real estate market, the interest rates are high and the prices of the houses are high? Well, that's because you're limiting yourself to investing in real estate only in one capacity. You're trying to buy at retail price, as opposed to learning how to find deals, as opposed to learning about tax lien auctions and different other avenues of approaches and being able to wholesale. There's so many different ways to dive into the real estate investing space. You can also be a private lender. Now you're not doing any of the work. You invest your money, you lend it, and you enjoy the profits, you enjoy the returns. So there's so many ways, and we have to stop handicapping ourselves because we don't have knowledge. There's a lack of knowledge. And so investing, people don't understand the term debt. Some people use the term good debt and bad debt. Some people don't know the difference between that. And so when you don't have debt and you learn how to eliminate debt successfully, which I teach the HELOC strategy to eliminate your mortgage and consumer debt, when you free up debt, then now you have more cash flow. Money feels confusing and threatening when we don't understand, we fear. When you don't understand, then you give fear an opportunity to walk in the front door, kick the door down, and say, honey, I'm home. And so I want to talk to you all today about learning how to overcome fear, and that's by dealing with your lack of knowledge. Now, number two, here's the number two. When I work with clients around the country, helping them out with financial literacy, when I work with people and I'm trying to teach them how to eliminate their debt, here's the second thing that I find most people have. When we're overcoming fear, they have past traumas. Yes, the past financial traumas and failures and negative experiences and people doing them wrong will cut people off from ever taking another chance and opportunity. And so they have like PTSD of the financial world, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so when people are dealing with that past trauma, it really hinders them. Every time a great opportunity comes, every time an opportunity to make more money, every time an opportunity to grow, they have so much trauma, they would rather keep losing than take a chance at winning again. And so why do I say you keep losing? Because there's a silent money killer out there called inflation, ladies and gentlemen. And when inflation gets a hold of your finances, when inflation gets a hold of your financial situation, it won't let go. The cost of living, the cost of goods and services, it constantly goes up in America. And if you don't understand that, then you will never realize that even when your job gives you a 2 to 3% raise, why you still don't have enough money at the end of the month. And so Tony Sherman puts in the comment section, he says, with a lack of knowledge, my people perish. Yes, that's in the Bible. And so, yes, you can perish spiritually for a lack of knowledge and understanding of God. And you can also perish financially because you don't have a good understanding of how money works, how finances work. You all share this live as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's finance training on today. We are talking about how to overcome financial fears. This is important that you deal with. What are some of the traumas that people have, some of those past traumas? In that comment section, if you've ever had some type of trauma when it comes to your finances or what it was, put in that comment section what it was. For some people, it was a loss of job. For some people, it was debt. Some people may have experienced a foreclosure or going into bankruptcy or growing up with scarcity. And so now some people still have a scarcity mindset. A lot of that stuff should have flipped and motivated you to say, you know what, when I have an opportunity, I want to do better. And so growing up with scarcity can create a fear-based money habits. And you have to be careful of that. Some of your money habits and thought processes when it comes to managing and maintaining money may not be healthy. Some people have unhealthy money habits. And so past pains often control present decisions. I'll say that again. Your past pains and trauma often control your present decisions that you make. And so that's in every part of your life. And so some people have what I would say the third, we'll go to number 3. The third reason while dealing with people and coaching them financially, why they struggle to overcome their financial fears is income instability. Many people have unstable income. And it happens for a number of reasons. And so we have Tony Sherman. He was scammed out of $25,000 cash. And so that caused some hesitation about being able to trust other people. Some of us have had people who put stuff on our credit report and it didn't have anything to do with us. It caused trauma. It messed up our credit score for a while. There's so many different reasons why people can struggle to overcome their financial fears because of those past mistakes. Number 3 that we're dealing with on today is income instability. Some people don't have stable income. And when they don't have stable income, they're afraid to make moves. And they're afraid to make moves because what if this income stops? What if this job doesn't keep me? What if I'm only working contract? What if I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get with this business? Some people are afraid to go all in as an entrepreneur or business owner because the income isn't stable. So they have to try to do other things as opposed to going all in. And so income instability is something that people deal with. Sometimes it's because of furloughs. Sometimes it's because of layoffs, or as I mentioned, inconsistent income or gig work can make finances feel unpredictable. And it can trigger anxiety in people. And when that anxiety hits, it disrupts the opportunity and the ability for your brain to think and process. As we're talking here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I appreciate everyone as you continue to tune in and we talk about overcoming financial fears on today. Make sure you share this live as you are part of our community here at Coach Steele's Finance Training. We're a growing community, whether you're listening on YouTube or on Facebook or TikTok whatever social media platform, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Let's deal with number 4. The fourth reason why a lot of people struggle with overcoming financial fear, ladies and gentlemen, and many of you can probably guess it because most people in America are dealing with number 4, and that is debt and high financial pressure. Most Americans carry debt. Most Americans have thousands of dollars in debt. And so many people who actually have a home, a mortgage, you have debt. And so here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, one of the things I do and I teach people is how to use the HELOC strategy effectively to eliminate debt. And if that's something you're interested in, make sure you leave me a message and I will get some information over to you about using the HELOC strategy. Now, debt and high financial pressure, people spend so much of their paycheck, so much of their almost cash flow on paying financial institutions that minimum monthly payment to satisfy a debt, whether it's credit cards, whether it's the car note, whether it's student loans, your mortgage, personal loans. So much money is sent monthly to these different locations because people made decisions to buy liabilities as opposed to buying assets that pay for the liability, as opposed to creating income, passive or business opportunities that will pay for the debt and the expenses that you have. And so one way, of course, to get out of the rat race is to allow your passive income to equal or be more than your monthly expenses and bills. And most people don't have that in place. So they have a bunch of debt and high debt, and they have this income, and they have to rely on that 9 to 5 every single month to maintain and take care of the debt that they owe. And it consumes so much of their money, there's no extra money to invest. There's no extra money for them to grow. And it goes back to learning how to budget, learning how to eliminate debt properly. Most people do not know how to eliminate debt properly. And I find that a lot, whether it's credit cards, student loans, medical bills, mortgage. It all creates mental stress and emotional weight with people. And debt magnifies fear because it steals not only your present income, but debt also steals your future income. That mortgage, that 30-year mortgage, it has already assigned itself your money 30 years from now, 25 years from now, or however long, your 15-year mortgage, whatever that amortized note is, however long it is, and the car note and all those other things, it already has dibs on your future income. And you have to learn how to have dibs on your future income by investing wisely, overcoming fears, and most importantly, eliminate that debt. You don't have to have a 30-year or a 15-year mortgage. There are quicker ways to do it. And in the process, you can save yourself a lot of money in interest. The money that you would have given the bank for interest, you can keep that money in your pocket. All right, let's get to number 5. And this is a big one. It's not as big as the other ones, but I see this happen a lot with people. Tony Sherman says budget is the foundation on ground floor. Yes, you want to be able to have a good budget. That's the foundation. That's the backbone. All right, let's see here. Number 5, comparison and social pressure. Many people struggle and have fears financially because they're always comparing. They're comparing themselves to other people or what society says you should have, what you do have, what you don't have. And so you have to be able to overcome that. You got to get past that. Stop worrying about what other people have. Seeing others looking like they appear like they're ahead, it makes you feel like you're shame and you're not where you need to be in life. And so you rush decisions to keep up, to appease other people. You take on unnecessary stress. And a lot of people that you feel are rich or wealthy or have a lot of them are in over their head in debt. They're struggling, they're drowning, but the appearance makes it look like something else. And so you're trying to keep up with something that's not real. Don't keep up with things that aren't real. And so you have to learn how to stay at your own pace. Stop worrying about what other people have and focus on where you are. And so when you do that, you can grow wealth faster. Now, let's deal with how to overcome fear. We dealt with 1 through 5 of the things that can cause fear, but let's deal with some solutions, ladies and gentlemen. Let's deal with how do we overcome fear? How do we empower ourselves to overcome these 5 things that can slow us down from having financial success? Well, number 1 was the lack of knowledge. Well, guess what is the first thing you can do to overcome fear? If you want to replace that fear, then replace fear with knowledge. So in that chat section on TikTok, let me see you put replace fear with knowledge. And so any place that you're afraid of when it comes to the financial world, I want you to challenge yourself in 2026. I want you to study that topic. I want you to study that asset class. I want you to study that issue, whether it's credit. I want you to study credit. If you're afraid of trying to figure out how to fix your credit score, do a deep dive and start studying the steps that it takes to improve your credit score. There's so many different things that they look at on why your credit score is the way it is. I want you to study what percentage goes to credit history, what percentage goes to utilization rate, what percentage goes to the diversity of your credit. Start studying it. What is 30%? What amount attributes to 10% of it? That way you can start working on those areas. You can start improving those areas, and you can become an expert in those areas where you once lacked knowledge. So that's just an example when it comes to credit. If that's your fear, or you worry about, or you let your credit score loom over your head. When it comes to budgeting, find out the different ways to be able to create a budget. Some people may like the 50-30-20 rule. Some people may want to be able to account for every dollar. Find out what budget strategy works best for you. And so study those things, and it helps you overcome that knowledge. Track your spending, understand your numbers, learn simple investing strategies. Confidence grows with clarity. In that comment section, confidence grows with clarity. You need to know that. And so the more clarity you get, the more you study, your confidence will increase, and that's going to help you overcome your fear. And so when you are tuning in here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you share the live so we can help somebody else, bless somebody else with some great information, positive content in 2026 about financial literacy. So many times we cloud our brains with negativity. We go rush to the drama. We go rush to the mess. But here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, we keep it positive. We focus on pushing forward, improving the self financially, and improving yourself mentally as well. So the second thing we can do to overcome our financial fears is create a financial safety net. And that's something that you have to work on. Do you create a financial safety net overnight? No, you don't create a financial safety net overnight. Thank you for tuning in. R. Kenyette, bro, happy to have you tuning in. Splash Team, Sean, Fort Yonda, thank you for tuning in. At one, happy to have you tuning in here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. Y'all shout out, say something in that comment section as y'all are tuning in. We want to create a financial safety net. And so that's a process in itself. And so, of course, you want to eventually build an emergency savings. And of course, everyone has their different amount of what they believe your emergency fund should be. And so you have to understand your finances and what your month normally looks like. And so I would say start off with at least $500 to $1,000 minimum for an emergency fund. But when you really want to have savings, a financial safety net, then I would say have about 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved up in a high yield interest savings account. And if you don't have the link to a high yield interest savings account, then send me a message and I will send you a link to a bank that is FDIC insured with a high yield interest savings account. And so you can reduce your panic dramatically by having a financial safety net. And thank you for tuning in, Catherine Serva, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. And when you have a financial safety net, you're more comfortable with investing. Why? Because if anything happens, you have already put a safety net off to the side to hold you down, take care of you. I need you all in 2026. Stop being so afraid of losing that you don't give yourself a chance to win. It's sad. It's sad to have that mentality and that you refuse to win in life anymore and win big because you would rather just chug along and feel comfortable that at least I didn't lose. And when you just chug along and you keep up with what's going on, then inflation is speeding right past you. And you don't realize that. And so you have to race against inflation to be able to make progress and have success in America. All right, let's go a little bit further. Let's go a little bit further. I see a comment here in the comment section. Good morning to you, Miss Shirley Frazier. Happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about overcoming these financial fears. And we talked about what the fears are and then how to overcome them. One was replaced with knowledge. Two is create financial safety net. Number three, most people do this, but then they don't follow through. And so in that comment section, I want y'all to write follow through. Most people do this one, number three, but they don't follow through. And what is that? It's build a simple plan. Build a financial plan. Happy to have you tuning in, Frog, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, FJK and Buzzgeria. Happy to have you tuning in as well. Most people build a financial plan, but they don't follow through on it. And many people build a financial plan, but it's not realistic. You got to have something that's realistic, something that's doable. You can't put it so far out of the box that, and you just say, oh, well, I just have faith. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with faith, but you got to have work too. You got to do the work. Happy to have you tuning in, Vicky, as well, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. You got to build a simple plan, and your plan has to be realistic. Make sure you all sharing the live here on today, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. I have two more points to help you out, and then we're going to get out your way. And so you don't need to be perfect. You just need direction. You need to have a realistic budget plan. You need to have a realistic debt plan. You need to have a realistic saving goal, and a plan turns fear into focus. Yes, in that comment section, I want you to write, turn fear into focus. That's what I need you all to do. So many people focus on the fear, but I need you to turn that fear into focus. And when you turn that fear into focus, you're so locked in on those simple plans and realistic goals, you're going to forget about the fear. The fear will drop off. And we're talking about overcoming financial fears here on Coach Steele's Finance Training on today. You all make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. We want to make sure that we continue to stay in contact with you. And as I continue to post videos on the YouTube channel, you'll get those as well. So let's deal with number 4 and number 5, and then we're going to get on with the rest of our day. All right. Let's see here. We got Anitra Perry. She said, turn fear into focus. Tony Sherman says, focus. Guys, I am so excited on today here on Coach Steele's Finance Training for a number of reasons. We're talking about how to overcome fear and have success here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. Thank you for tuning in, Sky. Thank you for tuning in, Shaniqua and Zulogi. Thank you for tuning in as well. But our next one is number 4, take small, consistent action. Now, this is a big one. This is a big one because most people underestimate the small, consistent actions and how it'll help you have success, right? So a lot of people hear the phrase, well, how do you eat an elephant? And anybody know how you eat an elephant? I'll wait for y'all to write it in the comment section, right? And so while y'all are writing the answer on how do you eat an elephant, I'm going to tell you another reason why I'm excited here on Coach Steele's Finance Training. Here, I'm talking about overcoming financial fears and being able to accomplish your goals in 2026. Well, one of the things that I participate in doing is work in Cameroon, Africa, and that's over in West Africa. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're building churches over there. And so while I'm here live talking with you all, I got an update on my phone of one of the churches that we're building. the walls are being put up and they're getting ready to work on the roof. And so I get the updates, I get the videos and the pictures. And so they just sent me another update of the progress of the church. And so when we look at the progress of the church and where it is, I can't wait to share. I'm going to share the videos on my social media platforms so y'all can see the step from when it was just dirt land to the whole building that's being built over there. And so the update they just sent me is exciting. And if anybody wants to participate in the process of the church being built in Cameroon, you can always go to my Facebook page, Simon Steele. And if you look on there, there's an opportunity. You can click subscribe. You can subscribe to my Facebook page. I think it's like 90 cents a month. And when you subscribe, whatever money goes to the subscription, I take that and I put it towards the building in Cameroon. So yes, you can support by subscribing and sending 90 cents a month. And that is going to be enough money for me to be able to help consistently grow and do work in Cameroon, feed people, help people, clothe people, and build ministry as well. So make sure you go to my Facebook page, Simon Steele, and become a subscriber. When you're a subscriber, what I do is just for the subscribers, sometimes I'll put videos in there about what's going on in Cameroon, their culture, their environment, the country, and the progress that's being made. But I don't put it on my regular Facebook page. I only put it in there for the subscribers to see because they're sowing into the ministry. Now, let's go a little bit further. How do you eat an elephant? Tony Sherman says you eat one piece at a time. Anitra put one bite at a time. That's correct. And so when you're trying to take small, consistent actions, that's like the elephant. Small, consistent actions helps you tackle and get rid of the whole or eat the whole elephant, tackle your goal. Whenever you're trying to clean up a big room or a big space, don't stress yourself out by trying to do it all in one day. You're going to say, this is too much. Spend 20 minutes a day, another 30 minutes another day, 15 minutes another day, another 30 minutes. Before you know it, you're going to tackle and knock out that whole room. You're going to knock out that whole closet and you'll say, whoo, I did it. One bite at a time. Every 30 minutes at a time. So don't get stressed out by trying to fix your financial situation all in one day. Thank you for tuning in, Tam Bam. Happy to have you tuning in. Mrs. Campbell as well. We're talking about overcoming our financial fears on today. And so we're talking about taking small, consistent actions. One of the easiest small, consistent actions you can do is the beginning of every week, pick a day or whenever you have free time, the weekend or Sunday, whether you sit down as a family or whether you do it individually, just start looking at your budget. Start looking at your bank statements. Look at what came in that week, what went out that week. Look at that credit card statement to see what is being drafted out of that credit card. Identify everything. Take about 20 minutes to go over your budget. Don't allow yourself to get stressed out. And get an accountability partner. If you need an accountability partner, Coach Steele's Finance Training is here. So big wins start with small steps. Big wins start with small steps. Think about inventors. They didn't just invent something overnight. A majority of them, it took small steps. And guess what? Along the way, some of them failed. Once again, overcoming fear, you have to overcome the fear of failure. Just because you failed today doesn't mean you failed for the whole month. It's almost like a stock. A stock is going to go up and down, but by the end of the year, it's probably going to be higher than when it started. So don't be so afraid of the up and downs that you never get to that pinnacle. You never get to that peak or that climax. And so, yes, you can take small steps, putting extra on debt, whether you're using the cash flow method or whether you're using the whether you're using the snowball method or the avalanche method or the index method. Using these different strategies, cut one expense at a time, and momentum replaces anxiety. Yes, the momentum that you're going to make will replace that anxiety that you feel. And so I want y'all to really remember that in that comment section, put my momentum will replace my anxiety. That is important. And as we are tuning in, I think we have one more step to go through. A lot of you, I know, I deal with clients every single day when it comes to finances. People have anxiety, they're stressed out. It's like they can go get on a ride at Six Flags or Disneyland and have a blast screaming and excited. But if you put them in front of their budget and their finances, all of a sudden the anxiety is there. Well, if you go put me on a ride that's flipping up and down and turning, that's where I'm going to get anxiety. But if you put me in front of my budget and money and finances and numbers, I'm excited. I'm in a happy place. And so you have to overcome those fears on today. Thank you for tuning in, Carolyn Tucker, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, DJ Power, Sugar Plum, Kim Deere, all of you as you're tuning in. Yes, I like that, Sister Coach. Momentum will replace my anxiety. Big wins, small steps. The big wins come with the small steps. And so as we're tuning in here, I think we got one more to go, number 5. Number 5, and we are done dealing with all of the 5 steps to overcome financial fear. If you're late tuning in, that's fine. You can always go to my YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training, and watch the videos. So all of the videos are always left on Coach Steele's Finance Training YouTube channel. Click on the live tab and you'll see all of them. And so the next is address the emotional side of money. You got to address the emotional side of money. Ask yourself, why do I fear money? What has me so afraid? What experience shaped this fear? What has me thinking this way? What did I deal with and go through that makes me think like this? Healing your relationship with money. See, some of you thought that you only heal relationships with boyfriends and girlfriends and your mom, your uncle, your auntie, your best friends, your besties, your BFFs. No, you got to heal your relationship with money. In that comment section, put heal your relationship with money. You got to heal. You have to heal. If you don't, then you're going to hinder yourself from making progress and headed to your financial destiny and your financial success. It's going to be difficult to elevate financially if you don't heal your relationship with money, because healing your relationship with money is just as important as managing it. Yeah. Think about it. You want to manage something that you haven't healed from. Ooh, that's good right there. I know y'all like that. I like that. Think about it. You're trying to manage something that you have not healed with, something that you don't bond well with. How are you going to manage? How are you going to maintain? How are you going to work with something then when there's some healing that needs to take place? Imagine trying to have a good relationship and work with when there's some hurt and it hasn't been healed. It's not going to work. Yeah, tell your neighbor, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So we got to heal so that we can manage. And you got to learn to lean into faith, lean into wisdom, and lean into mentorship. And that's where Coach Steele's Finance Training comes, because we can help you with the faith, building that confidence. We can help you with the wisdom, and we can help you with mentorship. All of that is important, guys. Let's see what Tony Sherman put in the comment section. He says, walking downtown to pay my mother bills. She always pays something on the bill, not what was due. So that's something that he experienced. Sharon Cole said, yes, heal your relationship with money. Great tip. Good morning, Mr. Reggie Castile. Happy to have you tuning in on the YouTube channel. Anitra Perry puts, heal your relationship with money. Yes, yes, yes. And so on today, guys, we covered a whole lot on today, right where you are. Just going to give yourself a pat on the back, because overcoming fear, getting the right information and knowledge, and going through this training session that we're doing here, we dealt with the 5 things that can cause you to hinder yourself from having financial success. We dealt with the lack of knowledge, past financial trauma, income instability, debt and high financial pressure, and comparison and social pressure, right? We dealt with those 5 things. And then we came back and talked about how to overcome those fears. And that's by replacing the fear with knowledge, create a financial safety net, build a simple plan that's realistic. Number 4, take small, consistent action steps. You know how we're going to eat that elephant one bite at a time. And number 5, address the emotional side of money, healing that relationship with money. And 6, we're going to lean into faith, wisdom, and mentorship to get us to the next step. For God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Mentors provide perspective that you can't see alone. And so I want you all to really take these things to heart and understand this before we leave. Financial fear thrives in silence, confusion, and isolation. I'll say it again. Financial fear thrives, has success, does very well, is at an all-time high when there is silence, confusion, and isolation. But financial fear, it dies in knowledge, planning, action, and faith. Financial fear dies in knowledge, planning, action, and faith. Put yourselves in the right environments, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach Steele's Finance Training. You all have done an awesome job on today, tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Like I said, give yourselves a round of applause on the day. Give yourself a hand clap, a knee repair. You can't manage something you haven't healed from. It's not going to work. We need to heal. Lean into faith and wisdom. Y'all did an awesome job on today. Normally we go to 10 o'clock, but y'all did so good today. We're going to cut it early. It's about 9:41 a.m. on Saturday. If you didn't catch all of this, go to the YouTube channel and type in Coach Steele's Finance Training and start from the top. I want y'all to get these nuggets. We did good today. There was some good information, great content. Awesome job. You can also click in the description on YouTube and go to my website and also buy a shirt. And so the shirt says "Make Money Multitask," and you'll see the picture of it too, the Money Man. So you can support by doing that, going to the website, buying a shirt. Those proceeds will go to help Cameroon and feed people and clothe people and build churches. And also go to my Facebook page and subscribe on my Facebook page. It's like 90 cents a month. And when you subscribe, hey, Renewed Spirit, when you subscribe to my Facebook page, that 90 cents a month will go directly to helping Cameroon and building churches and ministry. And all my subscribers on my Facebook page, you will see the updates, the pictures, the videos, encouraging words, all that good stuff, where I can pour my heart out to those subscribers and people that support the work that's going on in Cameroon. Y'all have an awesome Saturday. I got a lot going on. I think I'm going bowling today. I'm going to an evangelism class if I can make it in time. And I'm going to go fellowship with some people in my ministry on Zoom. I got a busy day. Until next time,